Hi, awesome first graders. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday so far, and happy guidance class time. Let's get started. So, first I'd like you to please finish your awesome time if you still have that. I think you're all done. And walk to the color zone that you're in right now. And once you get to the color zone that you're in, I want you all to pause and to say at the same time, I am feeling, and then whatever the feeling word you're feeling. All right, good job. Now I'd like you to please walk to your chairs, and I'd like you to get out your pretend bottle of super glue and go ahead and glue the bottom of your feet to the floor. And they're stuck there now, so no more moving. And please show me your hands. And of course I can't see them because I'm on a video, right? But show your teacher. Nothing should be in your hands. No distractions, all right? Good job. Now put your hands just right in your lap. And I want you to sit up tall. I don't want us to feel sleepy. Sometimes Mondays we feel tired. Just sit up tall and no leaning against your desk or your chair. But also relaxed enough where you're not going like this with your shoulders. So just roll your shoulders out a little bit. Feels really good to do that. All right. Now we're not going to talk during this activity. And what we're going to do is we're simply going to close our eyes, and your teacher's going to pause this video. And you're going to time, see if you can try for 45 seconds, and maybe you could do a whole minute, depending on how wiggly your classroom is right now. So go ahead and try for a minute and bump it down to 45 seconds if you need to. And the teacher's going to time you for that much time, so you don't need your eyes open to be watching the clock. Your teacher will let you know. And you're just going to sit like this for that much time and just notice just how your body's feeling. Maybe you feel like you have really comfy clothes on today, or maybe something's really tight on you. Or maybe you're feeling like your tummy hurts, or it feels really good and relaxed and calm. Or maybe you have like a pain in your back or something. And also, during this time, think about what you can hear. So just notice the different sounds just going on around you. And go ahead and pause this video and have fun doing that. All right, good job. So now teachers, you can ask students how they're feeling. They can share, and they can also share any sounds that they heard. Okay, you guys, one more time, I'd like you to walk to the color zone you're in. And maybe some of us feel more ready to learn after that. I'm kind of hoping for that, but we'll see. Go ahead and do that. Okay, so we've been talking about disagreements and how to get along, and that it's okay that we have different feelings, right? So just a couple of questions before we get started today. Is it okay to disagree with your friend? Yes, of course. We have similarities and differences, right? We're not all the same. So of course you're going to disagree with a friend once in a while. It doesn't mean you're not friends anymore. It just means that you're different people, and that's a good thing, right? If all of your friends were exactly the same as you, they looked the same as you, they had the same thoughts as you, they liked the same things, they had the same feelings, that would be pretty boring, wouldn't it? So it's good to disagree with your friends sometimes, and that's healthy. Now, is it okay to share your feelings with your friends? Of course, we talked about that in the book last week. Remember that one girl, she was really scared to go up in the treehouse, and she was nervous to tell her friends because she didn't want them to be mad at her. She didn't want to ruin the sleep under by not being able to go up in the treehouse. But were they mad at her at all? No. They just made a plan B, and they had a ton of fun anyways. If they're good friends to you, they will not be mad at you for sharing your feelings. It's a good thing to be able to share your feelings with your friends, and it feels better afterwards too. She felt so nervous that whole time. She could have felt better by just telling them right away, right? All right, good job. So now we're going to review what we do if we disagree with a friend, because it's going to happen, right? We know that for sure. So we need to know what to do when that happens. remember we had those 4 words? And in Mrs. Gilgie's room last week, I was in there live, and we repeated these probably like 10 times because, and I should have put that on the video for the other classrooms. Sometimes it's hard when I'm making the video by myself in my office, and then when I'm actually teaching it, I add more to it. It's just easier when you're teaching live in person with actual students, right? But we can do this today. So sometimes when you repeat things, well, not just sometimes, all the time, when you repeat things, you remember it better, right? So there's these 4 words. So maybe Mrs. Gilgie's room remembers them. Maybe you want to pause and see if you do. But the words are stop, talk, think, and try. All right, so stop, talk, think, and try. Let's say it all together. Stop.
You, me, and
talk. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Okay, that was funny. Sorry. One of my videos started playing on my computer. All right, let's do it again. We're going to say those 4 words together. Stop, talk, think, and try. Together. Stop, talk, think, and try. And louder. Stop, talk, think, and try. Let's do it 3 more times together. Stop, talk, think, and try. Stop, talk, think, and try. Stop, talk, think, and try. Okay, good job, you guys. We want to stop. When we disagree with a friend, we might feel angry about it, right? So you want to stop. Remember in crew, the power of the pause, right? Stop and calm down. Because you're not going to solve any problem being in the red zone. We got to be in the green zone to solve problems, right? If you're in the red zone and you're feeling angry and you just want to pound your fists or stomp your feet or go like this, you might end up yelling at your friend. And that would not be helpful. Or you might end up saying something really mean to your friend. And that would not be helpful. So you want to stop. That's the first step because you need to stop and calm down. Stop. Take a breath. That's an idea I think Gage said last week. Stop. When you stop, take a breath. Let's do it. Stop. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Good job. Did you do it with me? Let's do it one more time in case not. Stop. Take a breath with me. And then you can talk. You got to talk so that you understand what the problem is, right? So after you stop, you can, if you have a disagreement with a friend, you stop, take a breath, and then you can talk and say, hey, what's going on? I think we disagree about this, or I'm feeling this, what are you feeling? Then you think about possible ways to solve the disagreement, right? You can use Kelso's choice wheel. You can use any good way to solve the problem, right? You think about a way, and you even talk about it with your friend, and then you both pick one, and you try it out. You see if it works or not, right? Now, we're not perfect. It's not going to work every single time like magic, right? We got to try it, and sometimes we fail. And when we try it, sometimes we succeed. But the more you try it, the more you try all these steps, the better you will get at it. And then one day you'll be so good at it. So it's good to practice. And sometimes when we practice, we fall. Sometimes when we practice, we fail. But it's still worth it to practice because each time you practice, you're getting better at it. One more time with me, say those 4 words together. Stop, talk, think, and try. Good job. Now I'd like to read a story to you. And it's called The Ball Situation. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? The ball situation. All right, let's see what this story is about. As the lunch bell rang loudly, the cafeteria doors swung open, and another group of children hurried outside for recess. Kim, Jordan, and Annie headed straight across the playground toward the equipment rack, anxious to get a ball and start a game of kickball. I love kickball. When they got to the rack, they were surprised to find that it was completely empty. There was not a single ball, jump rope, or hula hoop in sight. Just then, A fourth grader ran past them, kicking a soccer ball. Annie frowned as she turned to her friends. There are usually enough balls for everyone. The fourth graders are going to have to give us one of theirs. Jordan pointed toward the grass fields. They're already playing, he said. So it's really not fair to take their ball. Then he spotted the school principal. Let's go ask Miss Denny what happened. That's a good idea, right? Miss Denny explained to the kids that the equipment rack had been left outside yesterday, and it had been very windy, and most of the balls were lost now. So it sounds like a lot of kids want to play with the balls, but there aren't enough for everyone, said Miss Denny. Why don't you think about some ways to solve this problem, and then we can talk about your ideas. So they were feeling kind of sad and frustrated, right? So they they found the principal, talked with her. Now they're going to think of a solution, and then they're going to try it. The kids wondered what they could do about the ball situation. Let's just tell Miss Denny that our class should get all the balls, because we have more kids anyways, said Annie. Kim and Jordan did not think this was a fair idea. Do you guys think that's a fair idea? No, it's not. But they're still thinking about ideas, right? They're still in the brainstorming phase. So when you're brainstorming, you just throw out any idea you have, and then you can think it over and think if it's a good idea or not. But a lot more kids in our class play ball, Annie insisted. There wouldn't be that many fourth graders who wouldn't get to play. Well, my sister's one of those fourth graders, said Jordan, and she wouldn't like that idea at all. We have to figure out something that's fair for everyone. He's right. Yeah, agreed Kim. We can't just have it our way. Let's try to think of some other ideas. Did you notice Kim said we can't just have it our way? That's really kind of her, isn't it? She's using empathy, like we talked about in crew this morning. When you're solving a problem and thinking of different solutions, you have to think about it from everybody's side. It has to be fair for everybody involved. What if we just split them, suggested Jordan. Our class could get half the balls and the fourth graders could have the rest. Sounds fair, right? But there aren't very many, said Kim. So a lot of the kids wouldn't get to play. Kim suggested they make a sign-up sheet so kids could sign up for a ball ahead of time. I think that could be confusing, and it might get lost, said Jordan, shaking his head. Why don't we just take turns with the fourth grade? They could use the balls one day, and we could use them the next day. These are all pretty good ideas, aren't they? The kids decided that this might work for everyone, so they shared their idea with Miss Denny and the fourth graders. Everyone agreed that this was a fair solution to the ball situation. For the rest of the week, the classes took turns using the balls at recess. Do they look happy about it? Yeah, that looks like they feel good about that solution. After lunch next Monday, Annie, Kim, and Jordan ran straight to the equipment rack because it was their turn for the balls. It was empty again. This is not working, exclaimed Annie. Her friends agreed. We're going to have to figure out something else to do. Let's go talk to the other class and see if we can come up with another idea together. They walked over to the fourth grade kickball game and said hello to the kids who were waiting in line for their turn to kick. They explained that they were supposed to have the balls today. Oh, sorry, he explained. I guess we forgot what day it was. Why don't you just play with us? Really? Asked Annie. Sure, answered the kid. We always have extra players on each team, so we just rotate in and out and take turns playing. If you join our game, we'll just have more people going in and out. So the kids got in line and joined the game. They had a lot of fun, and a couple of fourth graders even taught them a different way to kick the ball, so it would go even further. Cool. All right, you guys, my time's running out on my video, so I'm going to pause it. You'll join me back on part 2 video.